Hello, in this video we're going to be talking about clouds. But to understand better what clouds are, we've got to look at the three states of water. Water can be found in the solid state, like in ice, the liquid state, like the water we drink, or gas, for example steam. Let's look at this pot over here. I want you to imagine that mummy or daddy are going to make pasta. To make pasta, they've got to make a pot filled with water. The water is going to boil and then they'll put the pasta in. When water is boiling, you will see steam coming out from the water. Why? Because some of the water is evaporating and is becoming a gas. This photo is giving you a very good example. It's like we're creating clouds over there. Can you see like a little mist on top of the water? There's rice cooking in the pot, by the way. Okay, another photo. I want you to notice that on the cover of the pot there is like water being formed. This is the same thing that happens around us in the environment. So there is water, which is a liquid, we've got the sun, which is hot, and it starts to heat up the water, the sea, the lake. And this liquid water starts to become water vapor. It starts to become a gas. However, up there, up high, it's very cold. The further we go up, the colder it is. And when water vapor makes contact with a cold environment, a cold place, it becomes condensation. Have you ever noticed, for example, in winter, when you'll be having a shower, and a very hot shower, and when you get out of the shower, you look in the bathroom and you'll see it's as if you're living in a little mist. Then you go and look at the mirror, and you see that the mirror is full of water. This is the same thing that would have happened in this pot over here. So the water has evaporated, and then it forms liquid droplets. Look at the pot. There are some liquid droplets over there. On the cover of the pot. Look at the cover of the pot. Condensation, meaning water droplets. Look at the cover of the pot. There's condensation, water droplets. It's this condensation that we're talking about over here. The condensation of the mirror. And by the way, if you want to get rid for the condensation that there is in the mirror forever, there's a simple life hack that you can do. A life hack is something simple that you can do to solve a little problem that you have. I've done it in my home and it works perfectly. You have to ask daddy for it. All you need is some shaving foam. And you've got to ask permission of mommy and daddy to do this. You get some shaving foam. You get a cloth that you're not going to be using. You put some shaving foam on the cloth and you wipe the mirror. The mirror has to be without condensation, so before you have the shower. You wipe the mirror with this shaving foam. Okay, at first you'll say, what's happening over here? Because the mirror is going to become covered with this white shaving foam. But then you've got to carry on wiping this mirror until all the shaving foam would have gone. And you would say, why did I wipe it with shaving foam if now I'm wiping it dry? But you didn't notice that you've left a very thin film of the shaving foam that you can't see. You tell me, what use is that? Because when you're going to have a shower, now the mirror is not going to become full of condensation anymore. It's going to remain as if you've never entered the shower, and you don't need to say wiping the mirror. I've done it in my home. I've done it also in my car, because in winter sometimes you go in the car and the car ends up full of condensation. You have to switch on the air conditioner of the car or the heater, so this condensation goes away. If you wipe it with shaving foam, this condensation will never form again. Back to the topic of clouds. So what we're saying over here is that in the environment we've got water which is evaporating, and then because of the cold weather up there, because it's very cold, it becomes a liquid again. But why do these water droplets form clouds? Liquids are heavy. How do they remain up there? Because these water droplets get stuck. We're talking about the water droplets up in the sky. These water droplets get stuck to dust, dirt, and smoke. And we don't have just one water droplet or two or three. We've got thousands and thousands of these water droplets, and these will form clouds. So it's as if we're talking about the water cycle. I'm sure one day or another you've heard about this, the water cycle. So first you've got water which is evaporating. I'm looking at the right hand side of this diagram over here. We've got water which is evaporating and it's condensing. Condensing, might be a new word. Condensing means that water vapor, which is a gas, meets the cold weather up there and it becomes a liquid once again and it gets stored in a cloud. Now sometimes some clouds, only some clouds, not all clouds, can't keep this water anymore. And we've got rain. A different, or might I say difficult, word to describe rain is precipitation. Okay, so today you might have learned two new words, condensation and precipitation. Okay, we're going to start to talk about the three different types of clouds. There are many different types of clouds, not just three, but these three are the main ones. So the first type of cloud is called the cumulus cloud, and we've got lots of hearts over there. Why did I make lots of hearts near the cumulus cloud? You'll soon discover in half a minute's time. So cumulus clouds are one complete mass, one complete object. The clouds just become one big object. They're like big castles of cotton wool in the sky. Sometimes they become dark, grey or black. It means they're holding a lot of water. And when that happens, you're gonna have a thunderstorm. Cumulus clouds are the most common clouds that we've got around us. But why did I make these hearts over here? Because cumulus clouds are those clouds that start to tickle our imagination, and sometimes we see different shapes in clouds. They are the cumulus clouds that form these shapes that sometimes you say, oh, look, what we can see this shape and we can see that shape over there. For example, over here, this cloud is showing the shape of Winnie the Pooh on his back. For example, this cloud over here is showing an elephant. These are all cumulus clouds. For example, over here, the person who saw this cloud thought that it looks like a T-Rex. This person over here saw that this cloud looks like a hungry dragon. This person over here imagined this cloud as a turtle with a helmet diving down towards the earth. All these are cumulus clouds. Then we've got the cirrus clouds. The cirrus clouds show that fine weather is on the way. The cirrus clouds are like little feathers in the sky. You can see through them. It's like cotton wool, but very, very thin strands of cotton wool. You might not even notice these. I happened to notice these cirrus clouds about a week ago in a place called Fommerich, and there was a wonderful sunset, and you can see many times these cirrus clouds give either a wonderful sunrise or a wonderful sunset. And if you look up in the sky, you'll see like very, very thin pieces of clouds. They're not like the cumulus clouds, they're not solid pieces, they're very thin pieces of clouds. That means fine weather is on the way. In fact, the day after this sunset, we had a very, very nice, sunny, warm day. Not one, we had about 3 or 4 days in succession after each other. Okay, now we're going to talk about the third type of cloud, the stratus clouds. Now, these stratus clouds are, sometimes they cover the whole sky, and there will be gaps in between. So if you look at these clouds, you can notice that there are gaps of blue and then there will be the clouds and a little bit more gaps of blue. So they're not one complete mass in the sky, but you can barely see the blue skies above. Many times these stratus clouds will be telling you something. You're in for a grey day, meaning seeing just a little bit of sunshine because the sun can't pass through. And many times it means that there might be rain, not very, very heavy rain. Heavy rain is brought about many times with the cumulus clouds, the first type of clouds, the ones that we had the heart. But it would be just like a gentle drizzle all day long. Okay, so we saw the three types of clouds. Now, why did I make this presentation about clouds? Because we're going to take part in a competition. And in this competition, you can either write a poem about clouds, or you can make a drawing about what you can see in the clouds. Remember the T-Rex and the diving turtle and that elephant over there. If you want, you can also make a short writing. So let me just give you some examples about poems. Now, this is a very simple poem. It could be a poem that you might know how to write. It could be that you might tell me this poem is too simple for me. Can I make something a little bit more complicated? Of course you can make something a little bit more complicated. I'm going to read it very quickly. Clouds. It is hot. The sky is blue. A little cloud comes looking for you. More clouds come. They bring rain. Sing and dance. It's cool again. Another poem. Cloud. What is fluffy? What is white? What can you see when the skies are bright? What can float? What brings rain? What may be higher than a bird or a plane? Say it loud. Cloud. Okay, so I'm going to remind you about this competition. Then we will explain who you're going to send it to and the deadline for this competition. But we'll talk about this. This competition is part of a way how to celebrate World Environment Day, which is something which is celebrated all over the world. It is on the 5th of June. And on the 5th of June, since they celebrate World Environment Day, we're making this competition, and in this competition, as I told you, you can write down either a poem, a short writing, and a drawing, and it was very important for me to give you a little bit of information about these types of clouds. Why was it so important that I had to talk to you about these three types of clouds? What do clouds have to do with the environment? First of all, this photo over here was taken by NASA, by a satellite, and it's showing cloud covering different parts of the Earth. Why are clouds important? First of all, have you ever heard about global warming? Global warming is the heating up of our planet due to pollution. Why should we care about global warming? Well, we should care about global warming because due to pollution, we are having places. Look at this. This is a Photoshop photo over here. Look at the left-hand side, look at the right-hand side. Compare the two photos over there. You can notice a big difference. On the right-hand side, we've got dry, arid conditions. Arid means without water, without life, as we find in the deserts. So we've got places which were full of trees and greenery. Now they're ending up without rain. And without rain, trees will not live. And you won't have only trees living over there. You would have animals living over there. And if they don't have any trees to eat from or water to drink from, they will die. These are all effects of global warming. Effects because of this pollution. Other effects of global warming. Ice is melting. Levels of the sea will rise. Many times people think that global warming is only a problem for us because the sea levels will rise. No, that's just one of the reasons why we should prevent global warming, and we should do our parts of preventing global warming. For example, over here, this polar bear. Polar bears live on floating pieces of ice. If there will be less floating pieces of ice, there will be less places where the polar bears can rest before they go and do their hunt. Other reasons why we should prevent global warming. The middle Photo, we've already talked about it, the dry conditions. Desertification, it means places which were not deserts are becoming deserts. Look on the left-hand side. If you had followed the news a couple of months ago, we heard about forest fires in Australia, and they burnt huge parts of Australia, killing lots of trees, killing lots of creatures and people too. This was brought about because of global warming. They didn't used to have these bushfires which were so violent. Look at the right hand side, storms, tropical storms. Countries which didn't have tropical storms are having these storms. Even in Malta, we're getting used to a phrase called a medicane, like a hurricane happening in the Mediterranean. So all this is global warming, and global warming is brought about pollution. But what does global warming have to do with clouds? Because some scientists, and when I'm talking about scientists, scientists are not people who are living far away in another country. In Malta, we've got lots and lots of scientists. You might become a scientist yourself when you grow up, okay? And you'll be called a scientist yourself. Scientists are interested in clouds because they have discovered that certain clouds will help in reducing global warming because they will reflect the heat back into space. And some clouds are also responsible for global warming, that the earth is being heated up slowly because of some certain clouds. So to keep this a little bit simple, why is the study of clouds so important for the environment? Because some clouds can help in preventing global warming, and some clouds can do the opposite, and the earth heats up because of some of these clouds. So scientists are really interested in the formation of these clouds. So global warming isn't just brought about by pollution. Pollution is one of the major reasons why we've got global warming, but clouds, which occur naturally in nature, can also be responsible for global warming. So this is the reason why we did a little bit of a science lesson. Some parts might have been a little bit tricky for you, but that is the reason why we did this lesson about clouds. So I were to squeeze the important things of all this video over here. We've learned how clouds are formed because we've got water vapor, because the sea is evaporating and the liquid is becoming a gas. It's going up high into the sky. It's meeting cold weather up there, and they form droplets and it forms clouds. That's a very important point, how clouds form. Another very important point is that we have mainly 3 types of clouds, and each cloud is responsible for something. And the third thing, scientists are also interested in these clouds because some clouds can heat up the earth, some clouds can cool down the temperature of the earth. Remember, a very important point, the competition. You can either make a poem, you can make a drawing, you can make a short writing, okay? Anything about clouds. I hope this was of use for you.